The idea for the business started in 2017, just before Christmas. I was away with my husband in Manchester, and we were sitting in a bar deciding what to drink next, and we looked at the bar and it was full of gin, and there was Manchester gin and Edinburgh gin and Liverpool gin, and then I suddenly thought, I wonder why Lytham hasn't got a gin. I thought that would be something that would be a really good idea. So we talked about it. We talked about nothing else really for the rest of the evening, and then we sort of forgot about it till after Christmas, when I said, you remember that conversation we had before Christmas about the gin? I'd really like to have a go at making it. So I applied for all of my licences and set up my utility room as a bit of a laboratory, and haven't looked back really. It took me 6 to 8 weeks of continuous daily distilling to produce something nice, and I sold my first bottle on the last day of April in 2018. The idea originally was to sell about 26 bottles a week. I think that the business plan that we put together said to break even and make a little bit of money, we needed to sell about 26 bottles a week. Very quickly, within 2 or 3 weeks, we're selling sort of 50 or 60 bottles a week, and had to move from the utility room into the garage. We kitted it out properly with industrial flooring and racking, and we had it replumbed and the electricity sorted out, so it was actually like being in a little workshop. So we were in the garage for the best part of a year, and quickly outgrew that before the end of the year, and we had to find a storage unit because we didn't have room at home. It was really amusing sometimes that I would have barrels of alcohol delivered and pallets of bottles delivered, and this articulated lorry would pull up outside the house and come and knock on the door, and this confused driver would say, have I come to the right place? It's like, yes you have, and then I'd open the garage door and you go, ah, and everybody used to think I was doing it sort of illegally or something, but I wasn't. But it was quite funny at the time, and I used to wonder what the neighbours would think. I'd always loved chemistry. Chemistry was a subject that I absolutely adored at school, so when I went to university I went and studied chemistry. I worked for a little while for Colgate-Palmolive in Manchester. I was an assistant head teacher of a large school in Blackpool, which I absolutely loved doing, but I got to the point where I realised I didn't want to do it for the rest of my career. I wanted to do something completely different. I'd actually been racking my brains to think of something to do that involved chemistry and involved science when the gin idea came to me. The pandemic's been a really difficult time, I think, for a lot of people. For us at Lytham Gin, it's had its good points and it's had its bad points business-wise. So we were supplying somewhere in the region of 150 different pubs and bars and restaurants, and that all disappeared overnight when lockdown happened, and it's never really picked up again. So hospitality is almost non-existent for us at the moment. On the other hand, online orders went through the roof, not to the levels that replaced hospitality, but not far off, to be honest. Our business hasn't really suffered as a result of the pandemic. We've just had to pivot. The philosophy of Lytham Gin is that there's a little bit of Lancashire in every bottle. So the first gin, which we now call the original gin, originally it was Lytham Dry Gin, but now it's Lytham Original Dry Gin, has got samphire in it that I go out and pick on the estuary down by Lytham Windmill. We've got the Bee's Knees, which is a little bit sweeter than the London Dry style. We've got Blooming Gorgeous, which is a tribute to the Lytham in Bloom charity, who keep Lytham looking so lovely throughout the summer months, and we give a proportion of the sales of Blooming Gorgeous to the charity. We've got Positively Purple, so it's purple, but when you put a tonic in it, it goes this beautiful sort of lilac-y pink colour, and that has got locally sourced blackberries in it. There's something local in each of the gins that makes it a truly Lancashire product.